Hey Thrive Her family, we're back. I'm your host, Tania Squires.
And I'm your host, Alexis Walter.
And welcome to
The Collective Conversation. In the month of March, we celebrate Women's History Month. Here, in our limited podcast series, we'll be discussing all things womanhood. Today, we have two special guests. We have Anasia Bonner, a junior from Wilberforce University, and we also have Bria Spalding. Bria is a dedicated higher education professional currently serving as an area coordinator at the University of Cincinnati. With a strong passion for student development, Bria plays a pivotal role in fostering inclusive, supportive living learning environments that empower students to thrive both personally and academically. Her leadership, mentorship, and commitment to student success were recently recognized when she was named Mentor of the Year in the 2024-2025 academic year. Bria brings over 5 years of experience in higher education with a focus on community building, leadership development, advocacy for underrepresented student populations, particularly LGBTQ+ students and students of color. Known for her engaging presence and ability to connect authentically with students, she is deeply invested in creating spaces where individuals feel seen, heard, and valued. Beyond her professional role, Bria is a nationally recognized DJ and whose work bridges culture, creativity, and community engagement. She has earned accolades including being named the first ever #1 female HBCU host and the #1 female HBCU DJ, and she has curated and hosted large-scale campus and community events that center joy, belonging, and cultural celebration. Through her artistry and hosting, Bria amplifies Black and queer culture while creating high-energy, inclusive experiences that mirror the same intentionality she brings to her work in higher education. Together, her professional and creative endeavors reflect a holistic commitment to empowerment, representation, and transformative community, both impact on campus and off campus. Welcome, Bria Spalding and Anasia Bonner.
Okay, so before we get into our segment today, we're going to do a fact or fiction, but I want to ask you guys, how are you guys feeling today?
Blessed and highly favored.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Hello.
I feel amazing.
Oh,
Good.
I'm
Happy
so
to
glad
be
that
here.
you guys are here.
Thanks for
You're
having
That's
me.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, fact or fiction? Women's History Month is about celebrating progress, honoring trailblazers, and motivating everyone to continue pushing boundaries. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
That is a little tough one. Fact.
Okay. Fact or fiction? Women must choose between family and career.
Fiction.
I'll say fiction.
Facts. Well, fiction, but facts. You want to do one more? Or do you want me to?
I don't know.
I'll do a third.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
for, Maya Angelou used her words to empower women and fight for civil rights around the world. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact. Love.
Period.
Okay.
We smart.
Right. Okay. I see somebody who's listening in school.
Fact.
Okay. Question for you.
Okay.
What parts of yourself did you have to protect as you grew into your career and creative identity?
Wow. That is a great question. Can you read it one more time for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what parts of yourself did you have to protect as you grew into your career and creative identity?
Wow. Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like I had to protect all parts of myself, right? And I think for me, it probably looks differently because I have a lot of different intersectionalities, right? Like I'm a part of the LGBTQ+ community. I'm a woman. I'm masculine presenting. Like I have a lot of things that traditionally are like ticks against you. And I felt like for me, in my whole process and like becoming the woman I am today, I think the biggest part of me, this gonna sound so corny, but like I feel like I always had to protect like the little girl inside me, right? Because I feel like the older we get, and when we go through life and go through different situations, whether it's work, business, anything, it's like we're always inadvertently trying to make that little person inside of us proud.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to business, especially the business that I'm in, event curation, even at work, me and my doctoral program, it's like, how can I continue to make little Bria, proud?
Yeah.
But also still holding on to like my childlike sense of imagination and creativity and my energy and stuff like that. So I feel like that is really the part that I'm like, all right, everybody can't really experience like the real part of who I am.
Yeah.
And you always got to keep that like super sacred and like super close to your chest for real.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Bria, I love something that I love about you is I think that you are such an interesting person. Like, and so
I
I know
forgot
you
that.
for a few years. I think,
Yeah.
wow, I've known you since 2019. Like,
Yeah,
since I got to
yeah.
Central.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
But something about you that I have always like loved and admired is that you are just a kind person at all times. You probably don't even remember this, but one of the very first times I met you, I was sitting in the cab. I think it was me and one other friend that I had, and you just sat down and just started talking to us.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, like,
She's weird.
hey, no, not even, but it was like, wow, that showed me, confidence. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you are such a confident person, and not in a cocky way, and
Yeah,
because,
I
you are the DJ. Like, you are the DJ.
I appreciate
So,
that.
especially as someone that was younger than you, it kind of put you on a pedestal in my head,
I appreciate
and you have always just presented to be such a kind person.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're unapologetically yourself. Like,
Yeah, that's all
you
I
don't
can
really
do.
care like what other people like.
Yeah.
That's just how you present. And like
Yeah.
so, like this point, like you and a couple other people at Central were literally like, I'm gonna be like, Bria.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that comment too. And like a little bit about my backstory. So when I was a kid, unfortunately, I was bullied. Like when I was a kid,
Yeah.
these girls were beating me up. And
Oh,
all
you were
this
like, oh my
Oh
goodness.
yeah, like I was like boy,
Not just
like
like-
that. Nah,
Yeah.
Like they was putting hands on me, and something that my wife and I actually recently talked about was that I'm about to go on my soapbox here, but the difference between people feeling welcomed and people feeling belonged.
Mm-hmm.
And I always want people to feel both of those things, because you can walk in any space, just like the conversation we was having off camera about, certain spaces, whereas Black and brown people we go into, and they may be welcoming. They got all the DEI, they got all the
Right.
things that we may want, but when you walk in that space, it's not belonging. It's not like belong. And I always wanted to make people feel like that around me because of my experience when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I appreciate y'all saying that, though. That really means that really means a lot. I appreciate
You
y'all.
always want to make somebody be the person that makes everybody feel like somebody.
Yeah. Ooh, you
Yeah.
ate that.
No, I got that from a friend of mine.
Bro,
He always says that.
That's
Yes,
good.
yes.
That's good.
So I bring that up. I bring the kindness thing up
Yeah.
to say, all you just said all those things. You're masculine presenting. You're a DJ, and that's a very male-dominated industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the world has thrown at you, a lot of unkindness. How do you feel like you have continued to be kind and continue to show up unapologetically?
Yeah, not to sound cliche, God,
Okay.
like God is love, God is kindness,
Yeah.
God is welcoming, He is belonging, and I just feel like with my walk with Christ now, it's like I can't do nothing but be kind to people. You know what I'm saying? Like it be situations where I'm like, ooh, I could really tear you up, but like it's just not in my heart. And even when I think about it, like I get convicted. I'm like, ooh, I'm sorry, God, like because I know that ain't my heart, But really, it's finding peace within Him, within my walk with Him, and just always remembering, like God loves me. I should love everybody else, no matter what.
Yeah.
Obviously, we are human beings, and we get in those situations where it's like, I could really do this to you, but I really try not to get myself too riled up and stuff like that. So that's really what it is. I know that sounds so cliche, but that's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I'm curious about something. I know this sounds crazy, but the reality is that we are a little bit older. So when you were growing up, I mean, it sounds crazy, but to be totally honest, times were different. Like, what year did you graduate high school?
2014.
You know what I mean? So like, times.
She was like, hey.
Times were different around that time. You know what I mean? And so now,
they were.
Especially things like inclusivity and DEI, like not DEI and I can't think of the word that I want to use, but it's actually a real thing, like diversity, equity, inclusion, accepting people for who they are regardless. That was a little bit more accepted when you were growing up. How do you feel like that has impacted you? Do you feel like, you don't have to worry about stuff like that? It's not even a forethought? Or do you feel like those types of conversations are still very prevalent, even while you're an undergrad?
I feel like those conversations are still prevalent with me being undergrad, because back then, well, not back then, but before now, I would say it was more structured than it is now.
Okay.
With it not being no structure, it's like everything's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, of course, like, it's not the same from when you was younger. All the things that was hidden, you see now. So you see, like, why everyone is the way that they are.
Yeah.
But people being the way that they are, it never changed me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So to dive a little deeper, to Bria, were there moments where you felt you had to prove yourself more because you were a woman? And like, how did that shape you?
Yeah, 1,000%. Even to this day, I was speaking to somebody last night. I was sitting at a bar at downtown Cincinnati, and I was with my homegirl. And I was looking at the clock. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go, set up for my gig. And she's like, girl, your gig ain't for like another hour and a half. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to be late. And she asked me, she's like, why do you get places that early? And she was cool with the owner of the spot where I was DJing. And she was like, he even mentioned it to me, like, you be there an hour early. And I feel like as a woman, I have to do, like y'all said, I'm in a male-dominated industry already. Not saying they don't want me here, but I do have to work 10 times harder. Whether that's with my skill, with my professionalism, with how I show up in spaces. And that's even like with me being on time and timely, having, more chords than I need, or having things, troubleshooting, like all of that stuff. And I feel like that has just kind of prepared me for kind of where I am right now of like, hey, I know, again, not saying they don't want me there, but it's a little harder for them to be like, oh, the female DJ? Like, you want her here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, how can I give myself that edge? And I will say humbly, like, I think from a professionalism standpoint, a preparation standpoint, from how I present at events, I think I represent, all female DJs, MCs, and anybody that's a woman in the event curation space, like, very well, because what I always tell my mentees is everybody has this saying is who you know. I know Obama don't know me, right? It's really about who knows you and what they know of you.
Yeah.
And in the industry, even with my higher education career and with event curation, and the stuff that I do in the community, all you have is your name.
Yeah.
And what people know of you. So if I'm late to gigs and I'm coming unprepared and I'm doing all this, it strikes at my name, but it doubly strikes for any woman that comes behind me that wants to do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like I do have to step up a little bit more, to be like, hey, it may be a little girl that sees me on stage and she's like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm doing what I do for her. You know what I'm saying? I hope that answered the question. I kind of went a little tangent.
Yeah, please.
So you know how you said that, like, you being yourself, you gotta show that you're still a female. With me being at Wilberforce, I have a face on campus. So it's like, of course I don't want to show up somewhere and they like, oh no, I don't want to be with her.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be like her.
Absolutely.
With me being who I am, I'm going to dress up every day. I'm going to show up who I am. I'm going to come here and be so confident. I'm just going to be myself. Because nobody wants to follow somebody who don't have nothing on their plate. Like they say, you cannot eat off somebody's plate and empty.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody putting food around mine. And I don't want to be around nobody that don't have anything on it. Because I'm feeding people.
Yeah.
So.
And even to your point, not even to take us on a different tangent, the question y'all asked her earlier, I think is so interesting because even within the span of 10 years, like I graduated high school in 2014, the influence of social media is so
different.
It's
so
different. And even with us, like laughing earlier about cancel culture, like it is just so mind blowing to me of one, the influence that social media has, and also how people have to present, right? Like I remember when Instagram came out, you was posting, your bowl of cereal for breakfast. You posted anything, right? And now it's like, oh, well, I gotta post it this time with this outfit, with a birthday. Yes, I kept wearing it, and that has always been so interesting to me. And I think even kind of bringing it full circle to this podcast of like, as women, our standards when it comes to social media and when it comes to any type of media is so crazy. And even from a 10-year difference, like to me is like, dang, like what is it gonna look like in another 10 years? You know what I'm saying? So not even to take us on no tangent, but you saying that like being a face on campus, that's definitely something that's like,
and like being, to your point, my captain taught like, don't go nowhere with no bonnet. Don't go to the cab with your bonnet on. Because we were no pajamas, no nothing. Because and I was like, one, my mama taught me never to go nowhere with no bonnet on. But like, looking crazy, just presenting yourself like, we live on a college campus. We just going to the cab, maybe a 1 minute difference, but just getting up and just having a routine, like that's so important because you never know who's watching you and your
I was
brand.
about to say that.
And your brand, like
Yes.
you have a brand in college. No matter if you are not involved in anything on campus, you still have a brand.
Exactly.
So that's very important.
And I don't know if y'all hip to Deion Sanders, but he always say, look good. No, look good, feel good, feel good. Yeah, feel good, play good. And I think that goes to everything. Like when you go to work, if you're not dressed for work, like you said, I can't go to work in a do-rag or a bonnet because I'm not gonna perform the same way.
Yeah.
And same thing like with me going to shows. Like like for me mentally, I have to get dressed because I need to feel confident.
Yes.
I need to feel like
Yes.
You ain't go nowhere looking bum. You go like, oh, I don't want to do this. But if you go somewhere looking so spiffy,
presentable,
I used to always say growing up, look good, feel good, do good. Like she would always say that. And although you always show up at your best self. If I know I have like something extremely important to do, I'm waking up 2, 3, however how many hours early to do my makeup, to do my hair, to make sure my outfit, iron my clothes, like make sure I look my best. And I come from a family that really takes looks, not in a vain way, but we take that very seriously because it's also goes into the way that a reflection of your family, yourself, and the way that people respect you.
Yeah.
When you walk in somewhere and every day you look like it's your birthday, people treat you different.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you may think that that's not a great thing, but it is so true. You have to show up as your very best self every single day. And that doesn't mean that you need to have a bust down at all times. You need to have a full face. But always keep your face clean. Keep your hair done. Even if you have your natural hair, you just pull it back in a bun. As long as you are
presentable.
look presentable.
You don't never have to match someone else's presentation.
Absolutely.
Because nowadays I feel like it's what you got and what's the name.
Oh,
You need all this and all that.
Yeah.
You don't.
Just because they come in this meeting with LV's two songs, I come over here with some slacks and some shoes and still look
From Old Navy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And perform.
The lowest.
Yes.
You can have on the lowest clothes and feel the height.
Height,
Like
yes.
that really don't matter.
Not at
You
all.
can pick what you want and be yourself and what you are.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
And one thing that undergrad really taught me was, even when you think, because I really like the point that you made about just how you act. Outside of your presentation, just how you act. And even when you think that no one is watching, someone's
Somebody
watching.
is.
Everyone is.
Someone's watching.
Yeah.
Someone's like that story I just told. You probably don't even remember
I
that.
don't.
Like, no, that's okay, but people always remember how you make them feel. And that is something that is extremely important. And it will, like you said, it will carry your brand. And it'll also carry the brand for those that come after you as well. So
Another first impression.
first impression.
That's
They go so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you came to that table, you start talking.
Yeah.
If you would never start talking, they probably would have been like, oh, she didn't say nothing that she weird.
Right.
That's why I'm walking up to you and I'm saying what's up.
Yes.
I really do. So it's like, we show. Our love is hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like, you mean, nah, baby, I love you.
And it's like,
Yeah.
people don't understand our culture. Like,
I love
you
that.
go anywhere in Detroit, people like, what up, though? Like, we
What up?
speak.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
It does. It's, yes.
Yeah.
You're genuine. I love you. I love you. It's fun.
I love it. She said it's fun.
moving on, how do you navigate being both visible and vulnerable as a woman in your industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things I tell my student, I use an acronym. I can't remember where I got it from. I went to a leadership presentation years ago, but I call it keeping it hot, honest, open, transparent. And I have recently had some conversations with my mom because we're both in education. And now with me being mid-level management, I'm supervising people, and I ask her from time to time her opinion on things. And we were having a conversation about people being open in the workplace, and to kind of lead this into the question you asked. There's a difference in being transparent and honest. Okay. And I feel like for me, when it comes to vulnerability, I can be transparent about certain things, but it's not a lot of things within my industry that I'll be honest about, right? When I go into meetings, especially with my male counterparts or business partners, like I said earlier, I know I'm on top of it, I know I'm professional, but a lot of times, honestly, people don't, when I'm in meeting with other men,
Yeah.
They not looking to talk to me. They looking to talk to my homeboy or my business partner.
Yeah.
But from a transparent standpoint, it's like I have to let them know, hey, I am a businesswoman. We all are here to do business. Because with working in a male-dominated industry, showing any type of vulnerability comes off as a weakness.
Yes.
It comes off as me being emotional or me being too feminine, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'm more stoic in meetings that I have or when it comes to business conversations. I'm not able to be as like playful as I am here because it's just a different response that I get, right? So when it comes to vulnerability, unfortunately, I try to keep them walls up and be as professional and as stoic as I can. But when it comes to visibility, I think that it's synonymous in the fact of like, because I can't be vulnerable with the business piece and us having one-on-one conversations, it comes off like that. I'm still very kind, I'm still very nice, but I do have, stricter and firmer boundaries when it comes to certain things business-wise. And I think no matter if I'm on a stage or, in a classroom or in a boardroom, I think everything kind of ebbs and flows, if that makes sense. I hope that answered that question.
And it's like, I hate it because men don't have to go through the stuff that we have to go through as women in an industry, regardless what industry you're in. And it's like, we already have 2 strikes against us because we don't want to be the angry Black woman. We don't want to, like, our words can be misconstrued anyway. So it's like, it's kind of hard being a woman in corporate America, in white America, in any industry that's male dominated. So.
And I think it's interesting for me too, kind of going in a separate aspect when it comes to vulnerability. I kind of have to pick and choose until I get the opportunity to know people and know their heart. Because like we were talking about earlier, the difference between 2014 and 2024, homosexuality is something that is a lot more accepted. I grew up in a household where, like, unfortunately, it took me years to come out to my parents because Black culture is rooted in the Black church, and in the Black church, it was that disdain of you can't be this way. God didn't make you that way, and I like to argue that God knew it. He was creating when He made me. And that's my whole actual dissertation topic, but I'm kind of going on a tangent here. But I think that also plays a piece too, because you never know what people talk about in their homes, what they do in their homes, or what's on their heart, or how they feel about certain topics or certain demographics of people. Right. So and then on top of that, me being masculine presenting, because it's not normal, right, quote unquote, for people to see a woman not be, a woman in their eyes, right? And that's something that I've struggled with for years. But even walking into rooms and meetings, that's something that I have to mediate and try to, again, have that wall up and be a little more stoic. And not saying I hide my identity for nothing, because I am who I am, loud and proud, and you're either gonna get with it or you're gonna get rolled over. But like, it is something to think about when I'm walking in rooms. I mean, even when I have conversations with other queer women who are maybe more feminine presenting, that's something that they don't even get the opportunity to grasp, because it's just, it's my personal intersectionality of just who I am. Sorry, I told y'all I'm a yapper. I'm a serious chit chat.
I got something to go towards, like, the topic before the topic we just got off of. I would say standards. Standards is everything. So, in my situation and in my position, I am a hairstylist. So I do hair, I braid, and everyone, I would say everyone may be different because you don't know what they've been through, how they approach it. Regardless of who you are, you have to be, you just gotta be consistent of who you are. You can't change who you is because,
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, you can't keep up with the Joneses. You gotta be yourself and keep your standards. Don't lower them because you feel like they don't have it, or don't hire them because you feel like he ain't got it, or they don't have it, or just like that. It should always be about your standards and how they should never change. It's raised, never lower.
So I'm curious. I think we all, like to assume that we've always been the most confident versions of ourselves. But at what point in your life do you feel like you really had a shift into like, this is who I am. I don't care who has anything to say about it. And this is me, and this is me. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that.
Honestly, now, one of the things my wife and I talk about a lot is just the evolution of us as people, right? And one of the things that we have always understood is the woman that she started dating 5 years ago is not the woman that she just married, right? We always evolve, and we find different ways to tap into confidence and to tap in just to who we are as people. And I think for me, that actually has came with like me stepping up my fashion. I feel like I've always, just because being in event curation and being around clubs and stuff, I fell in with the YNs, you know, my young homies, you know. And influence is really something that kind of plays a part into that as well, because when I see other masculine presenting, you know, older women who are confident, the same way you said, like, I want to be nice to people because Bria was nice to me. I want to be as confident as that woman is.
Yeah.
And confidence comes in different ways, or like people are confident or can gain confidence from the work that they do, how they look. But I think for me, feel like looking good and feeling good helps me do better.
Yeah.
And I turned 30 this year, and that is just something I've been saying. Like 30-year-old Bria, I want her to be confident. I'm married. I have great careers. In my walk with Christ, I'm involved in the community. It's really nothing else I can really ask for right now. It's just everything that I've wanted, God has given me. So now it's like, it's time for me to exude that joy and be as confident as I can. One, for other people to be like, dang, I like what she got going on. How she get that? Okay, now I'm about to take her to church. Now it's that roll call. So honestly, I'm probably the most confident I've ever been in my life right now. What about you, sister?
I would say that. Can you repeat the question? I have a question today.
Yeah, so at what point in your life do you feel like your confidence shifted? Like, at what point do you feel like you have really became the most confident version of yourself?
I feel like my confidence shifted when I graduated high school and went into college.
Yeah.
I feel like in college I was by myself, living on my own. And where I'm from, it's like I grew up in struggle mode. I know how to make nothing out of something.
Yeah.
And always. So when me coming to graduating high school, I was with everyone who just like, okay, bully. Like for example, I used to get bullied low key, but I was just so tough, you know, I want to go sing everywhere. It'll hurt me in the inside, but outside I just be like, okay, what's next?
You couldn't be vulnerable about it.
Yeah. So then when I went to college, it was like, I'm not about to let none of these people that I don't know step over me. I don't know where y'all came from. Y'all don't know where I came from. Y'all don't know what I've been through. I don't know what y'all been through. I don't know what y'all capable of. Y'all don't know what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
So I just had to step out
Yeah.
and put my foot down to make me feel comfortable.
And I can speak to that because, like, we're from the same city, and, like, I talked about my school and where I went to high school. My confidence was low. Like, I wanted to be a dancer. Didn't want to go to school, but my dance teacher told me, like, you can't be on the dance team. I'm like, why? I'm thick. Dancers are petite. So coming from high school and going to Central, becoming a dancing belle, like, I was nervous. So, like, I truly feel like college taught me my confidence. And I'm still working on my confidence now as a 24, about to be 25, growing, elevating woman. But I just think that, just to your point, standards, knowing that you belong, like, just having that confidence is so super important, and that's something that I want young women to know and continue to know.
And
I'm sorry. No, I was just gonna say I feel like at every stage in our lives, we're thrown with something new. You know, when you're in high school, you're facing high school girl struggles, which is just a whole other thing. Then when you go into undergrad, or college, or whatever you choose to do after high school, it's something new. You know, you're trying to navigate what life looks like in your early 20s. And then when you graduate from college, or when you get into your later 20s, it's a whole new set of problems. So every stage in your life always presents something new, but I think it's important to always operate as your highest self, no matter what, and walk in confidence. Because truly, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta show up. You just gotta keep showing up every single day.
So, As we're wrapping up, I want to ask a question about redefining success. So, in your opinion, how should young girls define success, and how has your definition of success changed your growth?
Dang, y'all are asking some good questions. Touching back to the social media conversation that we had, because we live in a society, in a world where likes and views is something that people like to use as a definition of success, or how much money you make. For me, it's just me finding joy. And also, success for Bria looks different than success for anybody else sitting in this room. And the same thing for each individual person. I think it's really a self-defined thing. Like for me right now, like I'm successful. Like it's nothing that nobody could tell me about anything I've accomplished, where I'm going, that doesn't look successful. But somebody else could look at my life and be like, maybe she could have done, maybe she could have did more. But I do think it's a personal thing, and I feel like right now with the state of the world, if everybody just focused on what personal success looked like,
And stop worrying about it.
and stop worrying about everybody else, the world would be just such a better place. People would probably be more happy, because like the comment you made earlier, people are trying to keep up with the Joneses, and this person got on LV, or they got on Amiri. I need to chase this, and I want this type of clout. And it's like, dog, just be your own person,
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for coming today, Bria and Anasia. This has been a really great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tania, I think this one completes.
All right, so Thrive Her Family, this is more than just a podcast, it's a collective. See you in the next episode.
See you next time.
See ya.